And here we go again. And here we go again. And here we go again. Uh-huh. Oh my God. Huh. Live? I think not. There. Yeah. Holy fuck. The amount of technical difficulties here is crazy. Camera keeps turning off. I finally got it working. I actually got it working better now. We got the microphone here. Yeah, so where was I? Torturing animals until they bark aggressively at me. Well, I had this dog Toby, and when she got put down, I was furious. She was my first dog, my first love. And fucking, she would bite people. But she never bit anyone because people knew, you know, don't fuck with Toby. And are we super racist in our family? I don't know. But no, we're not. We're not. Why do we name our dog Toby? I don't know. But I would drag Toby around. You know, I could do trick moves with her. I would drag her on her back by her feet. And she wouldn't bite me. But sometimes she would get really mad and really aggressive. And a lot of this was from being gang stalked. That you take it out on animals. And then it's also so that people can have their finger to point at someone. You know, you learn pretty quickly that most, or not, perhaps not most, but people in general would enjoy to torture animals. But it doesn't look very good. You know, many people have, it would be very rare to find someone who hasn't committed many murders and rapes in their mind. And so it's a real kick to torture someone, to torture a kid, and then watch them abuse an animal and say, well, at least I don't abuse animals. And so after a while, you're like, huh. You know, I always thought I was a sicko, weirdo, fucking psychopath. But this was being done to me. I was being used as a banner or something for people to say, well, that's not me doing that. That's someone else doing it. And when you figure it out, you're like, you rascals. Okay? You are a real rascal. And there's this card on my grandma's piano. She has an upright piano in her house. And it says something about, you know, after they all turn their backs on you and you still keep going, and they all blame you and they laugh at you and you still keep going, and they all give you positive feedback, but it's meaningless, or, you know, it doesn't validate you, it doesn't, you know, I don't know, you basically keep being yourself, no matter how much it doesn't pay off, because you gotta be you. Like, that's like you and God. And so when they put down Toby, they didn't even tell me. And she was like my favorite person. My grandma one time said, guess who my favorite person is? I said, Carl. That's her dog. She said, how did you know? I was like, I don't know. You know, I would love to be psychic. I would love to be telepathic, but I can't read Dance Girl's mind. I keep trying to read her mind. I keep trying to read, what's your name? Tell me think to me your name. Imagine me walking by you on Kenneth Street and tell me your name in your mind. and I can't get it. Now, was I ever telepathic, or am I just remembering the times where it looked like I was? Because it's cool. Just it seems like, oh, I'm telepathic. I frankly don't really know. You know, I don't really care if I'm not telepathic. I don't consider that to be a problem. But I would put so many blankets on Toby too. I would put like 100 blankets on her, and just her snout would be poking out. And she was like a mixed dog, like a mutt. I really loved her. And then we had Charlie. We had a border collie. We were border collie people. You know, that was a nice dog. And then Willis, you know, he's just the best. Willis was Todd level. Willis was a human in a dog body. Like just completely, like on the DSM-5, has like complex borderline personality disorder, like a total human in a dog's body. And fucking Barbara had borderline personality disorder. She was horrifying. She was one of the worst people I've ever met. And she was always just talking about helping people and being a victim. And they were going to the hospital for her brother who had I don't know if he had a stomach cancer. I was used to joke that I had stomach cancer, and I felt bad about them going to the hospital. But my joke was half serious, that I have all this stomach pain and I don't know what it is. But I was kind of calloused about it, or like aloof about it. But Barbara did the same thing to me that Elizabeth did to Tony, where Tony was like, I can't take this anymore, and he blocked her on all social media. Because I know what she was doing. She was doing Chinese pussy water torture on him. And, you know, we had those torturous meetings after group, which were how Elizabeth and I had our affair, actually, which turned out really lovely. But fucking, just had to check to make sure the fucking what's it called, is to make sure the fucking thing is on. Can't even see it. No, maybe I can. So probably in about 5 minutes, I'll open my window and see if Stella wants those shoes. I feel like she's not going to. I feel a little bit like it's too vulnerable for me to even do this. And I'll open up the door too to see if Kayla wants some shoes. And I don't know if Kayla deserves them, but I've been pretty mean to Kayla. And she rescued a dog, so she can have some shoes. And as for Dance Girl, like I was just talking about how devastating it was when I got my bike stolen. Now, it did seem like Dance Girl had a date with me to give me back my bike, and now she still has it. And because I didn't go on the date with her, I don't get the bike back. Is that true? And what would you say as a woman listening if a guy did that to you? It's like, surprise, I stole your car. You can fuck me. My pussy is crimson red, full of blood. To get pregnant, you can fuck me, get me pregnant. And then you can have your bike back. I mean, would you be like, okay, cool, deal. Sounds like a good deal. Like, should I expect that Dance Girl's gonna be there? Now, what would I say if she's like, yeah, I do have your bike? And I'd be like, I don't even care about the bike, which is true. I would of course lose the bike for you. I mean, the amount of pain I've went through is worth millions of dollars. People would have to be paid literally millions of dollars to go through the amount of pain I went through. And I'm still like, it's cool. Now, Dance Girl isn't the reason why I went through that pain. But her parents are, for letting her be a trafficker. I sometimes wonder if, no offense, Dance Girl, okay, like I hope you don't think I'm like guilting you or shaming you or something. I still want to go on a date with you. I still love you. And if you have my bike, that would kind of upset me actually. I mean, if you asked me for my bike, I would say sure. If you say, can I have your bike? I'd say, yeah, you can have it. But if you're like stealing it, I feel like it's kind of different. But then, um, you know, I've thought, I bet TSD is so angry because this was like largely a dance girl thing. Like what got TSD in big trouble was ultimately a result of Dance Girl. Because she was the first one in the woods to do that, force me to look at her and talk to her thing. And it made it very, what I said online, how I responded to all this was very logical and rational. And I'm not always sure that TSD knew that. And why do I think TSD didn't know that? What would TSD have done had he known that Dance Girl had stalked me into the woods and filmed me with her friends? Well, why wouldn't TSD have known that? Because I have a suspicion that Dance Girl got Blonde Girl to put the bullet in TSD by having her stalk me with training wheels. But then TSD went and drove with Blonde Girl and Red Hair in the car while they were pretending to be sleeping. But either one, that's super sick. Especially considering all the things I was saying. You know, I want to marry you and I want to kill you. And all that. Well, I sometimes think TSD was trying to stand on principle somehow. I don't think Dance Girl's dad would have done that. I don't think he would have said, hey, it's me, Dance Girl's dad, stalking you with my kids. It's me, I live here. I don't think he would have done that. I think TSD was saying, like, I would do anything for my kids, including have the whole society kill me. And it's like, well, Dance Girl already did that, you know, in a way, if she had Blonde Girl with training wheels. I mean, the whole training wheels thing was what's brings it all full circle. It makes it like super duper damning. I mean, I'm not sure why TSD did that. There's always extra threats when it comes to going in that parking lot. It's like they're claiming it. It's like it's their grocery store. And part of me was thinking he was saying, I think you don't even know that I'm their dad. And I was like, I think you know that I know. But I also needed to know. I also wondered if TSD was doing that for me. He's like, I'm giving you the proof now. I'm giving you the proof so that you can destroy me. So that you don't get destroyed. And in a strange sense, I felt a great deal of loyalty from TSD. You know, it's odd. I've had the same thing with Stella. I've thought, I can't believe how much I hate them. And then at other times I think, you know, I feel like we're a family. You know, I'm like sitting here, like trying to wrap a belt around my neck. And I hear Stella out with her daughter. And I feel like she's there not honking at me. And I'm like, this is like a family. And Jamie's like our other dad. Like we have like we're like a 2-dad, 1-woman family. Or something like that. And, you know, those moments were very, very personal to me. Very, very nice to me. You know, I'm thinking in a world that's good, I would have a family. And this is the closest thing I'll ever get to it. You know? I know it doesn't sound realistic, but when you're really like, you know, looking for fucking sleeping pills so you can hang yourself painlessly. I mean, that's what I was basically doing. I was like practicing, like getting the belt all up and how am I going to do this and use the hanger for clothes. And then as I'm practicing, they have people doing kick flips outside on the ground, like, you know, a certain blonde-haired skateboarder with a black sweater. I think he left his sweater at the corner of our house. Hold on, I think this fucking thing every time. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, so I mean, at some point it's like Kayla's daughter offering to sell me chocolate, or red hair saying hi to me, or dance girl having a date with me where it's not, presumably not there to horrify me and terrorize me. It's like this is the only thing that I have. You know, my entire family is willing to gaslight me to the point of me dying, me being homeless, me running away. They have no, you know, my own family sexually assaulted me after I was like completely traumatized and terrified, and they were like, you know, presumably drugging me, or I don't know if they're drugging me, but you know, I didn't trust anything that they said. You know, walking in on me in the bathroom, that happened 2 times. Once when I was jacking off, and then another person like touched my ass while I was sleeping. I think they thought I was drugged, but I think they did it to wake me up, just to be like, you know, fuck you, you know. And I'm like terrified of all of them, like literally every person in my family. And then even Nathan, he's kind of cruel to me. Like the last time we went to the pizza store, he's like kind of laughing at me like my best friend, and I'm like, I really don't have anyone. Like the closest thing I have to a friend is the neighbor who tortures me. And once in a while, it seems like she's in a good mood and she wants to do something nice for me. And so that actually meant a lot to me. Like when Kayla's daughter was selling chocolate, or, you know, red hair saying hi, or, you know, Stella just being present with me and being present in a friendly way. And Joanne saying hi to me. You know, these things were like, they were like the only thing I had. Like I had literally nothing else. Like I was really, really sad. I was really scared too, and I didn't understand how people wanted me to suffer so much. I thought I'm already looking to kill myself. Like I'm already trying to do it. Like why aren't you happy? Like wouldn't you be happy with me? You know, and I finally was just like, bring me a gun. Like, you know, but I guess you can't, but you know, why would you make it so difficult? I asked my dad for Nembutal, and he's like, if you want. I was like, maybe on second thought, considering how immediately available it is, I don't think so. And I think his roommate may have had an issue like that once, after having a stroke. He was like a hot shot, like he owned a hard rock cafe, or maybe he was a manager. But I think he was like really like hip or something. Like it wouldn't surprise me if he had his own cafe. Well, anyways, yeah, I don't know what I feel like doing right now. Maybe I'll open the windows to see if anyone honks in a little while. I mean, I don't really feel like getting up right now. But it was really devastating when dance girl apparently was in the woods with my bike, and now she still has it. I mean, I'd still go on a date with her. But wouldn't it kind of irk you a little bit if someone stole your property and they don't give it back, and they're like, oh, by the way, I love you and I want to marry you, but I am going to keep your property until we get married? Like, wouldn't you feel... And then their family's like, and we'll buy you a bike once you get married. And it's like, I'm a lot richer than you, I think. And like, I don't really know what that means, but if it's true, it would be like, why would you steal my property and then offer to give it back when we get married? Like, wouldn't it just be a little bit weird? Like, wouldn't you just be like a little bit like, ChatGPT says that that's not a thing. Like, well, should I be wondering? Sometimes I wonder and worry that Densko's not going to be there, and how I'm going to react to that, and how upsetting that will be. And I know I'm not supposed to do that because you lean into your trust, and there's no actionable item for not trusting someone. What are you going to do? You are going to go on the date. Whether she's there or not, you're going to show up. So what's the point of worrying? Well, you might want to prepare yourself, at least to think, does she really love me? If she has my bike, does she really love me? You know? Well, why didn't I get my bike the first time? I was really scared. I was really scared of her. But why? I don't know, because I was worried she was too young, and that would be some kind of a trap. But then again, maybe not, because it wouldn't have been like, hey, what's up? Do you want to get pregnant real fast right now? It would have been like, hey, excuse me, person who is, let's just say 15. I'm an adult, and I would like to talk to you about why you have this bike, because this exact same bike went missing from my shed a little while ago, and I think I saw someone who looked like you yelling at me that you don't have my bike. And I think if Chris Hansen was here, he would approve of me saying this to you, and I would like to have my fucking bike back. But instead it was like, fuck that. Like, I was like terrified. You know, I was like, I'd been terrorized too much at that point. I wasn't like, oh man, I'm gonna be like on the Catch a Predator show. I was like, these people are predators. Like, I was like, I'm fucking terrified of these people. I'm so turned off. I'm so like fucking grossed out by these people. I hate these people. I would rather just to never talk to you again, that you keep my bike. You know, like, maybe you're sorry that I got raped. Well, giving me my bike back doesn't fix that. You know, you're sorry, you live with it. You did it, you live with it. You know, you never realized that following me in the woods and filming me and blocking me in and forcing me to talk to you is sexual assault, and you're backing it up with vehicular homicide. You never realized that that's rape, and now finally you're like old enough to get it, and you're like, I don't want to live with the pain of that, so here's your bike back, but if you don't come get it, it means that you tricked me, and so therefore I get to keep your bike forever. I'm like, Dance Girl, Louise is a child, just in case you don't realize that. Don't be like Louise. And like, give me back my bike at some point if you have it. You can have it, you can borrow it, but you don't even ride it. You don't even ride a bike, Dance Girl. I've never seen you on a bike. Now, could it have been a Dance Girl lookalike? Yeah, it could have been, but I don't think it was. It was someone sitting on the ground. It's totally Dance Girl style. So that's a bit nerve-wracking for me. And why is it nerve-wracking? Because it turns me off of Dance Girl so much that it just makes me not love her. No. Um, I would certainly talk to her about that. Like, I would just assume that she would say, yeah, you can have your bike back, here it is. But what worries me is that it would imply that she wouldn't even like me and that she won't even be on the date and that she's going to stand me up. I mean, at this point, I'd say, if you have my bike, don't bring it on the first date. You know, have it on the second date or something, or, you know, have it at some other time. But, you know, it's important for me to know. It's important for me to know that you know that I would much rather hang out with you than with my bike. And I'm much, even if you have my bike, it would be much more enjoyable for me to hang out with you than to be like, okay, where's my bike? I don't even care about the bike at all. It's just about what it symbolizes. I mean, and to some extent I do, but I mean, it is a Gary Fisher bike. And I'm sure that, you know, Basketball Net Guy is scratched out the R. And, you know, well, I guess it's their bike now, but I would like to put it back in. You know, and he's like, well, I guess the R stands for rapist, doesn't it then? And I'm like, well, actually, I'm the masochist here. I want to be tied up and raped. You know, even with a fucking dildo. But probably not. But maybe. I mean, that used to be a fantasy back in my 20s. Now I'm into urethral plugs. My old pussy was my butt, my pussy. My new pussy is my fucking dick hole. I want to try that so bad with the chastity cage. I think that would be so much fun. And, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure Gemini, like Google Gemini, would agree with me that you would be feeling disrespected or somehow controlled. That's really what it is. It would be a boundaries issue. And there's some nan bread going on. Okay, so I'm probably gonna go check on my nan bread. I think it's risen enough, and at that moment, I'm going to open up the window. And so, if you would like, you can do something with the lights on your car if you don't want to make noise this late. You can flash the lights on your car or something, I don't know. You can give me some kind of sign. 1 sign for small shoe, 2 sign for big shoe. And then I'll go over to the other window and I'll see if Kayla wants them too. And otherwise, I'm gonna sell them. So I'm gonna do that now in like probably like 20 or 30 seconds. And I'm also gonna put my nan bread in the fucking toaster oven. And because I think it's risen by now. And I'm really good at making nan bread at this point. It's more like pizza bread or something. But the secret to making good bread is just put so much butter in it. Like the most amount of butter. But, oh yeah, and can you see though how it would be like a boundary violation if Dance Girl's like, you can only have my bike back if we get married, or if you give me a baby. Can you see how it would make me feel like she's controlling me? And then if she's controlling me, like that's not love. And so ultimately it's not like I value my bike more than Dance Girl. It's that it makes me feel like she doesn't love me. And that makes me feel like she won't be on our date. And that makes me feel like I can't even imagine. Like I can't even process that. I can think of it, but I can't actually feel like it's real. I'm like, no, that's not possible. But it kind of puts a thorn in my side. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go Open. I'm gonna go. So I'll be right back. So now is the time to do your light show if you want the shoes. And if you don't want them, I'm not offended. Okay. Okay. I think you want them. Okay, looks like no one wants the shoes, which means more money for me. Also, sometimes I wonder, no, they weren't saying that they're going to save you, Dance Girl. They're just saying that, you know. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. I thought almost instantly, this is a good sign. This is not a bad sign. And I'm actually glad I still have these shoes, because now I could probably sell them. And maybe I probably wouldn't have fucking died. I'm not sounding morose. But I think the reason why I wouldn't have died is because I just had the fight in me. I was like, this is not how I'm going down. I felt like fucking Cypher from the, no, not Cypher, but the people who Cypher kills. They're like, no, not like this. We die by Cypher. That's fucking nuts. You know what the other things too is sometimes I feel bad for some of the gang stalkers, like TSD and like, I don't know, other gang stalkers who I may have gotten targeted, who may have like a really difficult time. And I'm like, you can always just tell people everything. Like, you could just go online and say, yeah, I have a handler, and he's been threatening me. And so I had to do this shit. And I didn't want to do any of this. And that would, like, atone you. Like, if you're really stuck and you're, like, in some, like, brutal position, you could always become a fucking TI. Even if you're already a TI, you could become like a double TI. And I think people would help. I'm not sure. But there was always people who were nice to me too. It was rare, but there was always some people who were nice to me. And even family was too. I mean, they SA'd me, but... And they said it was an accident, like walking into the bathroom, so I guess that's true. But I was like, yeah, seems a little bit, timing of it seems a little bit odd. But it took a while to win them over, but once I did, now I feel like they would never SA me. You know, there's no one really who I have animosity towards. Now you might say, well, what about all those things you said? Clearly you have... Yeah, but that was yesterday. Okay, that was yesterday. And yeah, it would zank me if Dance Girl has my bike. I'm sorry to keep coming back to it. It would fucking zank me. But I think it would zank her too. I'm gonna be telepathic here, and I'm gonna say if Dance Girl has my bike, this is what she says. She says, yes, I have your bike. We've only been a couple for the last month. And I haven't thought about it even. That I should give it back. So much other stuff has been happening. And we both know you already have a bike. We both know it's just the principle of it that matters. And we both know that on our date, we'll make everything right. And then it doesn't matter whose house the bike is at. Well, yeah, that's about right. Now, does she have a point? What if she has a real point? She says, I know you love me. I know that we're in love. And I know that you're on drugs. And I know that you're trying to fuck anything that walks. And I know that that's not your true proclivity. That you're doing that as a cowardly escape mechanism to prevent yourself from being vulnerable with me. And you do actually owe me a date because you do actually love me. And you can't be a coward because you've made me fall in love with you. And to just abandon me like that, I'm gonna steal your bike. Because you've broken my heart. Just like you give guys a pass who hit a pig or choke a pig for cheating and giving them an STD. Although I wouldn't do that again, of course. I never hit a pig. But, what was I talking about again? I get a pass for stealing your bike, for breaking my heart out of your own callousness, out of your own cowardness. Cowardness, not callousness. And had you broken my heart by some other way, that you just fell out of love, that you gave me the chance that I deserve, and then it didn't work out, well then all is fair in love and war. But as long as you really want me, but you're afraid of me, then you scammed me. And yes, I know I human trafficked you. Yes, I know I was bad and all that. But you still love me. And you still don't have the right to pretend like you're not interested, when the real reason is because you're afraid. So go on a date with me and then you get your bike back. I think that's what she's saying. And is that a valid point? Yeah, it's kind of a moot point. It's kind of like, well, we fell in love because you fucking purchased me as a slave. Like, you were my prison guard who put me in prison on false charges just to keep me in prison. And then we fell in love and then you feel like you have rights over me. I mean, I could probably argue it that it's a pretty moot point. I could see you're not wrong, but I'm right, but you're not wrong. So it would definitely displease me for you to have my bike. But I can see your point too. And, great point. Like, on some level I feel cared about when you give me a baby. I'm like, that makes me feel cared about on some level. Now, what happens if Dance Girl's ass is not that big? Yeah, I've wondered that. I thought, what happens if I see Dance Girl naked and I go, yeah, is that even possible? Could it even happen? I don't think so. I've seen her in tight clothes. Her upper body, I definitely like. Her face, I love. And her lower body seems very promising. Obviously, I don't know if she has a bubble butt or not. And I don't know what her butthole looks like. And I don't know what her pussy looks like. I can imagine her skin is very lovely. I think she's half Portuguese and half French. Now my dad called me French. He said, "You're a coward." He said, "Oh, so you're French." I never really knew what it meant, but I assumed being French means being a coward. I'm not sure why, but just the context of the conversation. So does that put things into perspective with Dance Girl a little bit more about the mic? Like, you know, as far as me going on a date with belief that she's going to be there and that she also loves me and isn't just using me, and she respects me. I think so. I mean, certainly, I haven't tried my best since being nourished by her. And I couldn't allow that for a long time. But now I can. And now I'm having the best time of my life. So I know every guy says it. Every guy says, my pig is the best, and my family is the best. And I feel like it's true. Maybe it is true for everyone. I feel like it's true too. You know, I feel like there is no, even if her butt's not that big, even if it's not a bubble butt, there's no butt I'd rather put my face in. I finished off last night's video saying the same thing, and then the camera died. There's literally no place on earth that I would rather be. There's nothing else I would rather be doing than what I'm doing. If God said, what can I do? I'd say don't do anything. It's exactly as it ought to be in every single way. This is as perfect as the mountains. And I always want to be cooler than everyone. But maybe it's just true for everyone. Like maybe Jamie is like, Stella, you are my fire. You are my flame, Stella. And she's like, yes, I know. Like maybe it's true for everyone. I don't know. But it's true for me too. My dad says people marry the runner-up, or the first one gets away, and then they never want to let it happen again, so the second one they keep. And for me, Chelsea got away, but then she came back, and then I got away from her. There's a song by Julian Casablancas, which reminds me of Chelsea on a few different levels, because Chelsea has the same kind of face as Julian Casablancas, kind of big doe eyes. And he says, this is for the one I got away from, something like that. Hold on, I just have to change the song. Well, my audio hallucinations are going well. I hear these ting noises coming from Dance Girl's house. I don't know where Dance Girl lives, but from her area. And it's like a coin hitting the ground. And whenever I hear that noise, it's a very good sign. And whenever I hear a door opening, that's a very bad sign. And whenever I hear a kiss noise, it's a bad sign. And, you know, I used to hear those from Louise all the time, but now I don't. Now it's from other people. But sometimes I think it's actually not a bad sign to hear the door open and to hear the kiss sound. It's just something different, but you don't realize what it is yet. But that ting sound is like a dime or a coin, and it's like hitting the ground, like a ting, like a coin hitting tin. And so I just heard that a minute ago from Dance Girl, and that means that she still loves me. But if I hear the door opening from her, then that means she doesn't like me anymore and she's not going to be there. And if I hear the kiss noise from her, that means something bad. I don't really know what it is, but it's like, it's somehow a bad kiss. It's like it's not the kind that I want. It's like some kind of tease, torture, where it's not like the good kind of bondage, where it's like, I don't know. It's where, I don't know, it's just like not good. And so, if I don't say the right thing, or if I don't say the thing in the right way, then I get those other hallucinations. And so, you know, as long as I'm getting the right ones, then I'm like, at least I'm saying it right. And so I was trying to listen for those when I was guessing Dance Girl's name. I'm hearing those ting noises, and I'm going, oh, okay, it's in that letter. It's such and such. Now, it doesn't really mean it. Okay, it just means that I believe it. Kind of like I don't have cognitive dissonance anymore. When I hear the ting things, it just means I don't have cognitive dissonance. Okay, I have to change the song. And I have to get my NAND read. It's pretty much done. So I'll show you that. This is going to be so exciting. I made it without tinfoil. Alexa, second light white.
Okay.
So look at this. Alexa, second light. Actually, maybe that's too much. Alexa, second light off. Okay, I'm back. Hi. What's up? I forgot to do an impression of how I'm gonna introduce myself to Dance Girl. I was doing all her parents and her family. I was like, hey, what's up? It's me, Dance Girl's boyfriend. And then I was like, okay, here's how I'm gonna introduce myself to Dance Girl. Hey, what's up? It's me, Dance Girl's boyfriend. Isn't that? Never mind. But isn't that funny? Yeah, this is gonna be. Are there gonna be flashes in my head that this is gonna be a setup and I'm gonna go to prison? Yeah, definitely. Um, fucking. Well, those are like 0.01% flashes. Um, the main flashes are that I'm gonna get my heart broken. That's really the thing that bothers me. But those are only like point fucking 5% or something. I mean, really, I think I got it right about the bike. I think I got it right about the bike. And that's one of the missing keys. Like, why would I be feeling apprehensive about this to begin with? My original naan bread today was way too crunchy. I just had to put it on for less time just now. I really thought someone would have wanted those shoes. I was like, maybe everyone just hates me. But I'm not going to assume that. I'm just going to assume that maybe no one actually wants them, or maybe they're not the right size. And on some level, I gave money to my aunt once for Christmas, and she was like, "I'm not taking money from you. Like, maybe people are like, we have a lot more money than you. You should sell these shoes and keep the money." I'm like, okay. I'd like to be rich. Sometimes I think I don't know what I'm missing. Sometimes, like, I don't really have it. I have my basic needs met, and that's all that really matters to me. And of course, when you're poor, you can't have a pig. But you can't really have a whore. But you kind of need a life. You kind of need a living situation, like an established living situation. And I think that I have that. I mean, it was hard to break through with my family and be like, at least one of them sexually assaulted me. 2 more of them might have. And, depending on if it was an accident, to walk in on the bathroom. And, but, no one was supporting me really. Or they were just supporting me enough to like torture me or something. It was like, I felt like I was living with people who didn't like me. Or, yeah, who didn't like me and who I also didn't trust. And so getting back to normal took a lot of work. And I feel like that entitles me to a pig. I'm like, I technically have a house. It's not mine, but I don't know, I used to like volunteering. But I'm cool not working. I'm like, I retired. But like, actually, like, I fucking retired. And I'll always have my own car. I'll always have my own house. I'll always have my own money. I'll always have good breath, or good enough. I'll always be well-groomed. I mean, what else do I need? Like, I don't need anything. So I feel like I can have a family. But what if Dance Girl's butt isn't that big? What if it's not a bubble butt? I think it is. I really think it is. But what if it's not? Just for hypothesis. Well, are you saying you think Dance Girl might be a 9? Her first boyfriend that I knew was was a 7. And then her other boyfriends were, they were really good looking. Like, they may have been 10s. Certainly if I was their girlfriend, I would have called them 10s. And maybe as the guy, as the other guy, you're like, no, those were just 0s, actually. So I'm obviously biased. Well, I was thinking, if her butt is not that wide, let's say she has a 0.75 ratio. What the fuck? What's this? There was just a noise in the mailbox. There's a raccoon outside that just knocked over the steel garbage can. Oh yeah. Banana bread. Look at that. I thought if someone was punishing me. If I didn't see that raccoon, I would have thought that someone knocked over that garbage can to harm me. So, okay, the naan bread turned out really good. I knew it would. So what happens with Dance Girls ratio is 0.75 or 0.8. 0.8 is average. What is 0.75? Would I still want her butt sweat more than anything in the world? Or would it be one of those hyper pigs at the strip club? One of those, I don't know if you've ever played Gladiator video games. Well, there's one for the PS2, and these certain guy gladiators, they were like 10 feet tall and just so huge, like way huger than, they're like super gladiators. Some of these hyper turbos at the strip club, you know, the type that you see once every 5 years, and they have like 65-inch hips and 29-inch waist. Something absurd, something where they have to be short to even make it feasible. That even to have that ratio as a taller person would be impossible. And where it's just gargantuan, like it's just absurd. And they're supple too. They're not like that gristly kind of fat. Well, you know, I call Joanne gristly, but I have to say that was her bone structure that really upset me with those Michael Phelps. Her, and again, I shouldn't be saying this, but this is topical because I don't want to offend Dance Girl, but when I saw Joanne's butt in spandex, I said, you know, this is priceless. This is too much. This is simply too much. Now, again, Joanne has those huge shoulders. And I'm not sure Joanne's posture is that good. I think she actually has bad posture. Well, have I had any effect on Joanne? If Dance Girl's butt is a 0.75, I still want it more than anyone's. And I think that's what love is. And, you know, am I lying? What would I have to gain from lying? I'm not saying anyone's calling me a liar. I'm asking myself, am I lying? Because I know every guy says it. But you know how these married pigs are? They're trying to fuck anything that walks. You know, they're like, well, I got married to him, I never need to fuck him again. He conned me, I conned him. He presented himself as one thing, and then once we got a house together and a marriage and a kid, then he just turned into the same old fucking stink. So now I never fuck him anymore. I'm like, Dance Girl, if my bike is a metaphor for sex, I'm already a good boyfriend, aren't I? Well, it worried me actually when that raccoon tipped over that thing. But I said hi to the raccoon. I was really scared earlier when that skunk was there. But the raccoon I wasn't scared of at all. I'd be really scared of getting sprayed by a skunk. I'm scared of bees too. But raccoons are really nice. I'm so happy I saw that. I would have thought it was Dance Girl who tipped over the garbage can. I actually expected I was going to see Dance Girl when I opened the door. I thought it was someone going through the mailbox looking for shoes. Or it was Dance Girl leaving a gift in the mailbox. I was like, this is getting so real. Do you think Dance Girl's nervous for our date? Do you think she thinks... What does she think? If she's nervous, why is she nervous? Maybe she doesn't know what she will say. But I don't think she's nervous, really. She's rather forward, I'd say. Well, I've gotten over things. Like, today I got over... I was thinking, a lot of it has to do with wearing a... You're not going to believe this, but a lot of it has to do with wearing a foreskin restoration device. Your dickhead is never supposed to touch the air. Ever. And, you know, when it does, a whole bunch of other things get triggered. Sort of like if someone is torturing you, you might be more prone to have a bad day, think of things in a negative light. So I was thinking today of the bank, and it was like, yeah, that's cool. Doesn't matter. I was like, that was just her bodyguard. She was just showing me herself come. which was really intense. You know, I'm always like, I'd love to hear what Dance Girl sounds like when she yells. I already know. Really piercing and really loud. I was so jealous. Not of the guy, but that she could feel so well. Like, I don't know if that sounded right. That she could feel that much pleasure, that's what I meant. And meanwhile, my tack is fucking bitten off. But with regrowing my skin, I get a lot more sensation. I can also have, like, uncontrollable screaming, which is really, really fucking good. I'm sad. Don't ask why. Just be here with me if you would. I don't want to go into why. I don't want to know myself. I distinctly don't want to know why I'm sad. I don't trust it. Whatever reasoning, I don't trust it. I'm not trying to think about it. Well, do you want to know? Okay, I'll tell you. It's that I feel a bit controlled and used. Like, I'm like, I bet they do have my bike. It fucking does piss me off. Even though I see their point. The whole thing of, like, get married and then you can have your gifts. I'm just, sometimes it just kind of irks me a bit. It feels like a girl when the guy's like, I just want to fuck you. And then you can have a bracelet. Or something like that. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Let me fuck you and then you can have a bracelet. Or I don't even know if it's like that. I don't know. Shouldn't a guy and a girl want to have sex as bad as each other? Like where the guy has... It's like even worse than that. It's like, let me fuck you and then you can have... Then I'll pay you back. You want the money I owe you? Fuck me first and then you can have it back. I'm like, on principle, I don't really think that works. I keep telling myself to jack off. I'm like, superstitiously, I keep hearing the word release. But I don't trust superstition. Like, thing that makes me not crazy is that I dismiss those thoughts as superstition. But what I think would happen if I jacked off is my personality would change, and I would say, there's no way I'm going on a date. This is totally abusive to me. That they're using me, and they don't respect me. They don't care about me. They don't even respect, like, my property. Like, you know, that was like my favorite bike, and they don't even care. They're just like, yeah, we'll take it, and you know, we deserve it. And I'm like, I don't know. I see your point. I know we've been through it. I don't mean to whip a dead horse. I'm like, I don't really feel that cared about. I don't know. Let me steal your dad's Mustang. My brother stole it. Never mind. I don't even know if he's my brother. I'm half scared of him. I would never talk to him unless there was like an emergency. Or if I got rich, I'd probably give him a bunch of money. Yeah, so I'm kind of sad right now. Kind of feeling like I'm a patsy or a dupe or something. Like I'm Edward Scissorhands walking into a trap. I'm like, I don't even care. I'm already looking to get put down. I don't give a fuck. I'll at least get my trails back. This is like, if I had a heart, I'd start crying right now. Instead, I just feel nothing. Is this how it is in all marriages? That you feel taken for granted? And you want to kill yourself? Because it's futile, no matter what you do. No matter how hard you try and how good you do, it's never enough. Well, me too. That's how I feel in my marriage. At least in this moment. And then who are you going to go to for comfort? And then you feel guilty. Well, obviously a marriage guarantees you're taken for granted. Like, why wouldn't you be when you're like, okay, we're together forever now. It's a contract. So it's not a free market anymore, so there's no need for quality control. I mean, it always happens when some company starts out really small, they have the best product in the world, and then they become Amazon and they wipe out every other product. And then once they have no competition, merely by their own success, they have no incentive to have a high quality product anymore. And that's why my dad says he will never be any woman's only source of cock. You must have other girlfriends. You must have other boyfriends, he says, if you have me. Otherwise you don't know the quality. Otherwise you can't appreciate me. Otherwise you literally can't treat me good. Well, Dance Girl's been treating me better than she ever has. And we're exclusive at this point. So I'm not sure that's the reason. Our being exclusive isn't the reason that she has my bike. And maybe she doesn't have it. She had a baby stroller too. Now, does Dance Girl just have an extra baby stroller at her house? I doubt it. She probably got that from somewhere else. Just like she probably got my bike from somewhere else. And the quality of her gift, of that dress, that black dress, it was so quick. It was so, like, affirming. Emphasis on firm. And I mean, it could have been piss. No, I've drank piss. It's not the best. But not from Dance Girl. You know, Dance Girl, anything she touches turns to golden. And fucking you know, someone that loving, who's like, hey, I'm here. I'm completely here. You know, I've never felt, since becoming a man, since stopping doing drugs and being present, I've never felt for a single second like she's not exactly as in love with me. I've never had to wonder. I've never, even when I would punish her for her telling me she loves me, she would still do it. And someone who does that would not be the same person who would say, I'm keeping your bike until you impregnate me and marry me. It just doesn't synchronize. So I would say that Dance Girl doesn't have my bike and that someone else has it. And right when I said that, I heard one of those audio hallucinations that was like, ting, and it was like, you got it right. That's exactly what's happening. And, oh, that's really good I realized it, because I was actually having a pretty bad time. I was thinking this video sucks. God, this video fucking sucks. I feel completely off. Everything I say is out of time. Like the timing is off of everything. And I'm just droning on and on. Nothing works. That's because I have this fucking resentment here. Feeling used and bitter. But I'm feeling that way based on my assumptions. And based on the evidence, I feel totally different. I feel actually scared that I do trust her. I'm actually scared of love. Love dissolves your ego. That's why it's scary. That's what people say. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some bread. And by the way, eating bread is amazing. Like just eating plain bread if you make it yourself, it's amazing. This is really fucking good news. I'm so happy we just had this conversation. I feel like obviously Dance Girl doesn't have my bike. Obviously there are people who hate Dance Girl and I now. Which are probably her own family. Like, not her dad and mom, but like her maternal grandpa's brother. They blame her for violating the code. The code is don't get caught. Yeah, I love Dance Girl a lot. Dance Girl, you're the best. You're so the best. I remember when I was like, what if Dance Girl's butt is not that wide? I was resenting you when I was saying that. I was saying that out of resentment. Of course, like, you have my bike, fuck you. No. I was mad that you don't get it. That you don't understand. That fuck you for being so daft. But you're not. We're the same, Dance Girl, you and I. And your grandpa. And your mom. I'll take you three. Your mom, your grandpa, and you. You're the best. Now your grandma is good too. But the thing that is good about the three of you is that you're primitive. I always call you Nell, like, you know, your mom is a retard, like Nell. But that's just kind of revenge for all the things that she's done that she's never said sorry for. And your grandpa too. Your dad is intellectual. He's clever. But your mom is simple. She's innocent. Like, in primitive tribes, if primitive means indivisible, like prime, like a prime number, and if they have a dream about someone that's bad, they go to that person and they ask forgiveness, that I had this dream about you, and I'm sorry. If they commit a crime, they go to the elders of the tribe and they say, I committed this crime. It would never make sense to them to get caught. They would always say, I did this thing. Like, they would have no concept of trying to escape, of trying to deceive someone. They would say, even if I committed a crime in my dream, I have to go tell people and say, I'm sorry for this thing I did in my dream. They have nothing to hide. They have no shame because they don't act any bad behavior, sort of shameful ways. It's not shameless like a psychopath. It's shameless like innocence, like a baby has no shame. And you might say, well, you need shame. Otherwise, you'll just do whatever you want. You'll just be a psychopath. But when you're natural, you follow the blueprint that your nature is, which is a peaceful species. If you do whatever you feel like, you will actually only do the right thing. And that's by the blueprint that God gave. I mean, primates, which we are peaceful species. As far as I know, I could be wrong on this, but have you ever seen a kangaroo's erection? Can you see where I'm going with this? In case you haven't, it looks like a carrot. I could be wrong with it. I'm just guessing there. But we're the highest evolved species on Earth. Therefore, our penises are plungers. And we eat fruit, not animals. Which implies we don't go to war. Which implies war is retarded. And I'm not sure if the word is arbitrar. We're the arbitrars of the world. So if we want the animals not to go to war, then we have to act natural. And if we don't, then the forest gets destroyed. The animals get domesticated. And then the animals go to war. Then they start torturing and then they get violent. But as long as we live right, then every other species lives right. Now you might say a lion is violent. Yeah, Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know why that happens. That's kind of sad, isn't it? Mm, you say, well, it's just nature. Perhaps it's more sad because you're imagining yourself as the animal, and for a human it would be worse because they have more complexity, and for an animal they're less conscious, so they don't suffer in the same way. And perhaps that's just what it is to be a lower evolved species. But the higher you go, the more peaceful you are. I mean, I feel much more conscious than a lion. There's some things that relate though. You know, you could see something in a lion that you couldn't see if the lion wasn't wild. Or an eagle, put an eagle or a lion in a cage. And you recognize your own castration, or lack of it. You know, your own being a pushover, your own defeated look versus your freedom look. Before I got traumatized, I felt distinctly free. I was like, there's nothing here to hide from. There's nothing here to run from. And I had always felt it's the contrary. And finally I had to assert it. Like, there's nothing, like Chris Martin says, there's nothing here to hide from. I was proving it to myself. And then people were like, oh yeah? Well, you think, as Zeph says, you think you can just walk around without permission? Oh no, you can't. I mean, I joke that who else would have the love to mutilate their own feet to make their pig laugh? And everyone would respond, you are a fucking retard. Just torturing yourself doesn't prove anything. And we have jobs, you know, we have to stand on our feet all day. And I'm like, why do you have a job? I can get my pig and I don't have a job. Why do you have a job? You know, you try getting like gang fucked by everyone you love and then making peace with them and then recruiting them to be your cult followers. You try having the endurance to do that. Try calling your caseworker the N-word and see what happens if you do it. Try smelling a stripper's asshole. Go to the strip club and put your face into her butt and smell her asshole and see what happens. I mean, probably a lot of people can do that. Okay, it's not a big deal. But, you know, probably a lot couldn't. Try having nothing else to do but to mutilate your own feet to make your pig laugh. I mean, you're like, well, we wouldn't do that because that's stupid. We have jobs, we have responsibilities. Try having no responsibility. Try having nothing to do all day, every day for your whole life. And having a car and having a wife. I've done this with fucking sugar mamas, with a regular pig. I mean, it's more than just mutilating my feet. It's like, I don't have to go stand on my feet all day. And to be that likable, just like what I was saying to Louise, to be likable enough that I don't have to have a job and I also don't have to be homeless. That's not being a slouch. That's being a mob boss. retiring at age 28 is being a mob boss. Now, that said, when I'm like, you know, constipated on the toilet in the morning, I don't really feel like a mob boss. I feel pretty stupid. Like, you know, I feel like an idiot. Or when I embarrass myself, or when I have like identity snapbacks, I feel like I'm not much of a someone. I feel like I'm just nobody. And do you think that I worry about that with Dance Girl as a reason why I worry that she won't be with me or that she'll stand me up? No, I don't worry that she'll stand me up because I don't think she has my bike. So I feel like she totally loves me. And I really had to get to this place. I had to figure this out. Because it was causing me a lot of resentments. I don't want to give Dance Girl 99%. I want to give her 100. I want to say, Dance Girl, I'm actually having to pinch myself to remind myself that I'm not dreaming, that you're real. That you're the most perfect person I've ever met. Even hotter than TSD. And we know TSD is super hot. I'd like to see what TSD's facial hair would look like. But, you know, because he's always clean shaven. I'll bet he shaves every single day. And I'll bet Sherry and Chris were not the people who wrote Sherry and Chris. I'll bet someone else did to give it away that it's Sherry and Chris. I'll bet it was Dance Girl. She's like, it's them. You know, more loyalty than I realized. Dance Girl has guts. Dance Girl is really smart. Oh, sometimes that scares me. Sometimes I'm like, you're actually scared of how great she is. Because as of now, you've not met a pig as great as you. And she's the first one who is your match. And that's fucking terrifying. I'm used to being above people, which is a very safe feeling. So this feels much more integrated. I feel more in my heart now, less in my body, less in the lower part of my body, less feeling like using Dance Girl and saying, what kind of ass do you have? Yeah, what if it's not that good? I guess it's still good enough. Good enough for a poke. I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like I'm in my heart, which is actually way more of a turn on too, because the turn on goes higher, but the other chakras do as well. So it gets balanced. Well, Dance Girl's maternal grandma is nice too. Her paternal grandparents are nice too. Yeah, they're great. They're great. But you have to have favorites. Obviously, you have to have favorites. So I do like them. Yeah, they are great. They really are. I love them all, really. Even Dance Girl's dad. You know, I really do love them. You know what, and the crazy thing is I love TSD family too. Even though they're enemies, even though they're probably trying to kill me. I do love them. In a weird way. Like, they believe what they believe. So that's cool. I think they believe what they believe. I don't even know. But I mean, when people show you something, believe them. And so they're saying, yeah, this is what we believe. I thought our family killed that guy, Chris Lemieux. There was a guy who died 3 months ago with the same last name that I think TSD's family is. Because Tony has that last name at group and he looks like them. And his last name is Lemieux. I couldn't remember the spelling of it. And I searched Chris and Sherry Lemieux and I see something on the obituary 3 months ago. And then I remember Tim's sister, when we had the dogs, saying, oh, there's a big accident today, did you hear? But this guy, he could grow a beard. This guy on the obituary, he was 40. And he had a picture of a cat with him. But he had a condition. He had a spinal condition that he was in a wheelchair since he was 3 years old. And apparently he died from that condition. And I was relieved. At first I thought, I'm glad that someone died. That just to show people how serious it is, that stop fucking with us. Or some random innocent person in your family dies. And then when this guy, when it showed that this, or like, someone who doesn't have the power, like if you can't kill who you want to, then you have to find someone else who you can, just to set an example to the people who are harming you. And then that's just self-defense, and don't even think twice about it. And that's just what it is in war. And I was like, man, that's really callous, because I used to feel deeply the amount of disdain that people have for me, and the amount of genuine intent that I die. And I was like a sweetheart. Like I was like a child. Like I was like, I'm a caring, loving person, and these people are just torturing me with, there's no amount of pain that's too much. They're just like, we want more and more pain, and the effort is that you die. And I was like, how can it just be like you're playing battleships? Like you're just like my life doesn't even matter. Like how could you do that? I didn't even understand. I was like, don't you feel what I feel? Like my appreciation of life, my pain, my love, my heartbreak, my horror, my rage, my humanity. Like, don't you feel it? Like, doesn't this mean anything to you? And they're like, nope, just die. Just die. Anyone you like should die too. And we're gonna high five. And you should die. And just go die. And it's why you to die now, okay? Oh, just go and die. Okay? This is why you to die. And I'm like, I don't even get it. Like, even someone I hate, I wouldn't be that callous about it. And, maybe saying things one thing, fantasies of saying, oh, I hope you die and all this. But to actually torture someone, to actually, like, sadistically, long-term torture them, I was like, I can't understand how calloused you would have to be, or, like, the malice you would have to have. And then, today, I was looking at this Chris guy. I'm thinking, I'll bet he was not even a gang stalker. He's just an unrelated family member, and he's the one who got made an example of. And I thought, oh yeah, that's right, good. Who cares? He studies geography, not a real subject, just an idiot. Part of the fucking idiot family. And I was like, wow, you're just like your enemies, aren't you? I was like, yep. I was like, I'm totally like that now. Human life doesn't mean anything. It means literally less than fucking nothing. Good person has to die, doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter even slightly. Stu, you're gonna get the hose. I thought, really? That's like, that's you now? That's you? I was like, yeah. Yeah, because what else can I do? Iran is causing lots of people to be starved, who Iran likes. by closing the strait. Is that Iran's fault? No. So it's not my issue. Some guy named Chris had to die. Not my issue. He liked cats? Yeah, they put a cat on because they killed Todd probably. Just to show. Not my issue. Don't even care one bit. And then I read more about it, and it's like, actually he had a condition and he died of natural causes. I was like, actually that's good, I'm glad. Okay? Just because I think something doesn't mean that it's what I believe. Or just because I believe something doesn't mean it's what I feel. Or just because I feel something doesn't mean it's my truth. It might just be, you might just try it on for size. How does it feel to think like that? And you might say afterwards, I actually didn't like how that felt. Maybe I felt like that for a day or an hour. And then after the Google AI said that he was in a wheelchair since he was 3, and given his condition, it's most likely that he died of his condition. And this guy Lemieux, he's probably not related to Tony. It's probably, just a coincidence that he died 3 months ago. And I thought, yeah, that's better. I'm glad, actually. I'm glad no one died. I wouldn't want anyone to die for me. And just the thought of it was unnecessary. Because you already have the outcome you want. You already have peace. You already have the support of the community. And I don't want any harm to come to anyone. I mean, torture is not scientific. I would not torture people. I wouldn't, obviously if I got angry, I would be violent. But when you're angry, you've lost the argument. If I were to be angry and be violent, that would be a mistake. And I don't want that to happen. And I'm not being tough. I'm not saying so you better watch out. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I wouldn't fucking hassle people. And then they up the ante, and then I up the ante, and then I get angry, and then I turn into someone I don't like. I wouldn't even hassle people. I'm happy with society. I'm happy with fucking, to some extent, I'm happy even with my handler. I mean, the last time I went out, I got one assault, but it wasn't a real assault. It was just, I had to freeze to not collide with this person. And I just yelled, fuck you. And then I had sleep deprivation the next day. I'll probably get sleep deprivation if I leave the house. That might bother me. But then I think if you get enough sleep deprivation for leaving the house, then you can just change your schedule. Or you could try to go to the police and try to get your handler, who you think is your handler, put in prison and get a new handler. But the main problems is fucking being killed and being raped and injected and being poisoned. Sleep deprivation and having your animals killed. Sleep deprivation isn't that bad, especially considering you can just go to bed at a certain time, which I wouldn't, or you could just have naps. And I mean, I am that person who doesn't have responsibilities, at least in a formal sense. Informally, I'm responsible to a lot of people. Am I not? I mean, I'm responsible to Dance Girl and to, I know this whole fucking town. I feel like again, I'm afraid of getting in trouble with Dance Girl for saying this, but I feel like it's obvious who I would. It's obvious who would be in my harem. If we followed nature, it's obvious who I would have in my harem. And I'm responsible to those people. And they're like the people who are saving the world. And I know that's far out. But that's the only thing you're trying to do, is to be responsible to the people you love. So I'm like, in this world, this unnatural world, I don't have a harem. I have Dance Girl. But if I did have a harem, Dance Girl would be my pair bond. So it's close enough. But I'm still responsible to all these other pigs. And I hope that doesn't get me in trouble with Dance Girl. I'm responsible to them like they are to their families. I'm like that gorilla dick daddy. Now, what does a gorilla's dick look like? I'd like to see. Where's my iPad? I don't know where my iPad is. This naan bread is not that good. I feel like the father of the house. I really do. I feel like Joanne looks up to me. I feel like Joanne at some point said, I'm following you now. Like she said, you've surpassed me, and I recognize it. And I say, good for you that you can recognize it. A lot of people couldn't. And I realized that if you surpassed me, I would recognize it. And you know that I would recognize it. So I'm your dad. Dance Girl's your mom. Or don't you parent your beloved? Well, no. You pair bond your harem, but your pair bond you don't parent because they're your equal. So I'm your dad, Dance Girl's your mom, and we're responsible to you. You feel safe and like everything's okay because of us. And it has nothing to do with a bodyguard. You feel safe because you have our light. Your responsibility is nothing when we're here. But once we're gone, your responsibility is huge. And I say that onto you as Osho has said it to me. Now, could Joanne admit that her mom is only 19? That's a hard thing to do. I know you understand. I know you understand that automatically you assume responsibility for all the retards who you love. And that's what me and Dance Girl do. We make it wet, we make it right, and we make it tight. Now, how humiliating is this gonna be if I go on my date and she's not even there? I'm like, yeah, we're the kings and queens and we're the best. And then I just go home and kill myself. Yeah, I would feel so embarrassed. I'd feel so embarrassed. But you have to admit that this is entertaining. You, as someone watching this, you have to admit that you're curious what's going to happen on our date. And if you watch on Hidden Cam, what kind of sex stuff we're going to do. You'll be thinking, is she going to shit on him? Is she going to piss on him? Is, what are they going to, what, you're going to be wondering all this stuff. Are they going to use protection? Are they going to raw dog it and pull out? Could she gape her ass with her own musculature? Or does she need some fingers? Are they going to cuddle? Are they going to get along? You're probably, as a woman, you're probably thinking, are they going to like each other? Are they going to watch Fallout? What if I've been saving these last episodes of Fallout for Dance Girl? This is really exciting to me. And I mean it when I say that I would be like, I don't know. It's just so cool not jacking off. Like, if Dance Girl was here right now and she's like, I know I've said this before, I'm repeating myself, but if she was like, you can come at me right now, I'd be like, why? Why? Don't you want to have foreplay for a long time? You want to just get right to the end note? Like, what's the deal with that? I want to cuddle. I want to watch shows. I want to, get tied up or, have a catheter, have a fucking urethral plug, have you punch me in the face and, go buck wild on me. I want to hold hands. I want to talk and make breakfast, and I want to sleep with you. I want to actually literally sleep beside you. I want to hold you while I sleep. I want to wake up with your neck in my face, with the back of your neck in my face. I want to feel like that's normal. I want to say this is my life now. That means so much to me. And it's giving me a boner right now. And that's different. That's so different than just jacking off. It's like, it's incredibly, unbelievably different. When you get a love boner, it's way different. I swear to God. And Osho was saying that women can make their pussy smell good on command. The same woman, not even changing her diet. And I'm like, I think I understand. When it's a love boner, it's different. Rather than just forcing it out. Osho says something that women don't get is you have to let the guy decide when to have sex. And that's not like a patriarch thing. That's it's saying, as the girl, it's basically saying don't rape the guy. You think as a girl that the guy just always wants sex all the time. And so you'll just be like, okay, I want it now, and you're always going to say yes. And it's not good to do that. He needs some rest time. He needs recovery time. And if you just force it too quick, it's actually really bad for him. It over fucking exerts him. And then he kind of loses his mojo. So I'm I think enjoying foreplay is kind of what love is. It's where you're not trying to get anything from them. And I think that's what foreplay is. Like, you're not trying to release your tension. It's like everything is complete already. Like the love boner, it's already complete. Whereas lust, it always keeps you wanting more. And I think that's why Norm Macdonald said that people feel guilty when they have sex. Because he was talking about lustful sex. Where you just bust to release the tension. Because it's a burden. Because why are you tense to begin with? Well, because you think your girlfriend stole your bike and you haven't done enough therapy to get through it. I mean, ultimately, that would... If we didn't unpack that, then the attitude would have been, she has my bike and I resent her, and I rationalize it on her behalf, but really I'm angry. I feel used. So let me take revenge on her. How can a man take revenge? Well, he can take her for granted. The only thing a man can do to keep his dignity is be late. He can wait till she really, really wants to do that thing. And then he'll just forget to show up, and he'll stand her up, or he'll be late enough that she feels like he doesn't care about her. And for his own dignity, he has to do that. He has literally no dignity if he doesn't do that, because he feels used. And he has to say, you know what, your ass isn't that good. It's only a 0.75. But, you know, I guess it's good enough for a poke. I'd like one of those hyper turbo picks better at the strip club. But I guess your ass is fucking... I guess it'll do. You know, I guess I'll drop a few lows and empty my nutsack into your fucking dumper. Yeah, I really love you. Good seeing you. Hey, we're in love. Let's get married. Let's have a kid. Yeah, maybe I won't kill myself if we have a kid. Maybe that'll fix things. Maybe I'll just clone myself. That'll work. Thanks, dance girl. You know, that's really what would have been happening. And I would have been masquerading it as, yeah, this is so good. Like being like Michael Cera. Yeah, it's really great. I mean, if you don't deal with your issues, how can you be worthy of love? And I feel like I'm floating. I'm floating in bliss because love is the path to God, and I have love. And I'm floating in my lack of confirmation bias, that if something feels wrong, I just let it come up. I mean, what was the point of tonight's conversation? The point was to get to the realization that if the S-Girl could give my bike back, she would. And that until I came to terms with that, I resented her and felt like she didn't love me and like she's using me. And had I not gotten to that point, the date would have been wrong. The date would have been broken. And dare I say, as scary as it is, my suspicion that she wouldn't show up may have come true. Because she would have said, I feel something is wrong. I feel like he just wants to empty his nuts into my dumper. Angrily, resenting me. And who knows why? He already knows I don't have his bike. Well, actually he doesn't, but I never brought it up. And I never brought it up because I wasn't even aware of it. But what made me aware of it was this kind of floating sensation I have, where I just don't have a topic in mind. I just let the topic come to me. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And then by the end of the night, I'm like, we needed to have this conversation. This was actually really important. I mean, I know a couple who 20 years later, the woman was saying, I've fucking hated you all these years for things you did all those years ago, for times when you would stand me up. And I never got over it. I never told you how much I hated you, and I've been carrying this. I've been wanting to tell you, and I knew your response would be, oh, shut up, fuck off. To some extent, you would never say that, of course. But ultimately, that's what you would say. Is, well, you did that. Oh, I fucked up? Well, so did you. Rather than just saying, let me help you fucking be heard. Let me hear you. Let me just listen to you. And that's one of the things I love about Dance Girl, is she's always watching me. And I often worry that she only wants to watch me when I don't know I'm being watched, so that she can get the real information about who I really am. She wants to see, who are you when you don't know you're being watched? That's what she wants to really see. And then I worry, whenever I want her to watch me, she's going to be like, oh, that's just hypocrisy. Anything you say is a lie, obviously. I want to know what you dream when you're not in control of your own dreams. That's the real truth. Well, according to who? Freud? I mean, Freud was unconscious. Freud's job was to bring super unconscious people to a normal state of unconsciousness, in which case their dreams are more real than their conscious thinking. But when you're more conscious, your conscious thinking is more real than your dreams. Then your dreams just become nonsense. Then it's just meaningless. It's just your mind is a recorder. It's just playing back things it heard in the day. So I'm fucking so happy I made this video. You have no idea. This is like one of the best days I've had. Like, every day is actually the best day I've ever had. I'm actually having the best time of my life. And you know when else I used to say that? A long time ago, before I got traumatized. Now I'm not traumatized. Now people treat me better than they used to. And now I have my family. I have a better relationship with my family. And I have Dance Girl. And I love Dance Girl more than ever, starting 5 minutes ago. Starting when I had the realization of this conversation. Now, do you think Dance Girl is telepathic? And she's like sending me these messages? She's like, actually, you're resentful about this, and you should talk about it. And, you know, because I feel what you feel, and that's how I know. And I'm like, yeah, that's possible. Although if I was really telepathic, wouldn't I be able to guess your name? I feel like I'm going to be so mad if it's something I thought, and you say, oh, that's what it is. I'm going to be like, I thought that. I really thought that. But I don't care about superpowers, like telepathy. I don't care about that. The magician is the magician is concerned with. My brother called me magician once in a derogatory way. I mean, I hesitate to call him my brother, but I mean, I think we've had some of the same experiences now. I felt really bad for him. You have no idea. You have no idea. And now I'm like, getting raped is nothing. It's like nothing. But then again, I don't even know if I was. I think I was, but I wasn't awake for it either. He was awake. I felt really, really bad for him. Okay. Just looking through different songs here. Well, now I have nothing to talk about, but I'm in a really good mood. And I hate to bring up a bad omen here, but if, and I know everything after the butt is ego, But if Dance Girl were to dump me at this point, I feel like in order for me to get over that, I would have to get over that she doesn't have my bike. I would have to get over resenting her. In order for me to go on the trails and not be reminded of her, I would have to not resent her. I would have to think she's perfect. And then if she's perfect and she dumps me, then I would say, that's totally fair. You know who else I thought was perfect, although we weren't compatible, is Marina. I love Marina totally. She's amazing. Marina's a perfect soul. And, you know, some people don't fit with each other, and Marina and I were that. So it's not like I don't love her. It's not like I don't adore her. And so when she's like, yeah, we're not a right fit, I'm like, therefore, I can see you anytime. And I'm not like, oh my God, what could have been? Oh. You know, just like with Din Venom's pig. I go to the strip club and she's at, or Din Venom's ex-pig. I go to the strip club and she's there. And we literally are crying, seeing each other. And she's like wiping the tears off my face. And I'm like, guess who I talked to? I talked to Kevin. He's getting married. And she's like, oh yeah, I saw Travis and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know, and your boyfriend really doesn't like your butt? Like, that's insane. And you know, Tim's sister was like, it must be so hard for you to see her at the strip club. And I'm like, are you joking? You know, I've like, you know, I've been all through her tubes. I know her geography inside and out. I know her inside and out. I already contain her. I already am her. If that makes sense. I've let her go too. Okay, I'm not like, you know, I don't have like long lost feelings for Din Venom's pig. You know, she's a good pig. But I recognize that we're not for each other. And so why would I feel pain about that? You know, there's nothing left, there's no stone in her left to unturn that I say, maybe if I just figured it out, that it would have been perfect and we would have been together. And now we're not together, man, it's like not even like that at all. I'm like, I already am this pig. I already contain this pig. I'm already this pig's dad. Okay, I don't care that she has a boyfriend. I care that her boyfriend isn't her beloved. I care that she had a baby because she felt unloved. And her first boyfriend, Porter, was a bitch-ass coward, and he never fucking made the time to see her. Because he's short. Because he's a short little faggot. And she's 6'2". And she is really beautiful. And she has like the craziest body, like insane body. Travis was like, I can't fucking believe it. He's like, I never knew. You know, like until I like spread her open for him and took her clothes off to show like, look at this pig. Like seriously. You know, don't get caught up with her face. Look at her body. And he was like, oh yeah, I see it now. And he said the same thing with Chelsea. Like, she's glowing, dude. And Travis is like, you know, he's not a romantic like me. You know, he doesn't care about things like that. Now, he's had a 10 girlfriend as well. A conventional 10. And you know, he's always good. Like if he was always good at sliming pigs. But he could only slime them once. Most of them. If we went to the bar, he'd always come home with a pig. But then, you know, he would just argue to no end. You know, like if they were wrong about something, in his opinion, he would just keep berating them, like over and over and over. And he just, I don't know. My dad said he's unbrokenly broken, unfixably broken. I was like, I don't know. When Topher would come over, he was like, "Oh, Topher's the man," and then he'd be extra mean to me. Like he's like, "Oh, Topher's just my favorite." At one time, there was this huge dumper pig named Sonia. This is in Toronto. Okay, there's a Sonia here too. That's a Sonia. This Sonia had like one of the biggest dumpers you've ever seen in your life. Like up there with German hips, but narrow shoulders and some kind of Latino. You know, she probably had 45-inch waist. 45-inch hips, I mean, and probably like 20-something inch waist. Just a huge bubble butt, like the biggest you've ever seen. And, well, not the biggest, but maybe, for a lot of people, the biggest they've ever seen. And Travis was talking to her, and like really into her, like he was like super obsessed with her. And Topher's like, "Watch this, I'm gonna steal her from Travis right in front of him." And then he did. And Travis was like really upset. And then Topher was like, I just licked her ass and it literally smelled like shit. And it was like there was fucking shit on it. And then Topher just stopped talking. He's like, "That bitch is fucking gross." and you know, coming from Topher would come in a girl's butt and then suck the cum out and then spit the cum in her mouth. And he's like, because she gets some cum, she needs some cum too. Someone was like, "Why did you do that?" And he's like, "Well, so she can have, she needs it too." And so coming from Topher, you know, he's like, "Her butt smells like a butt." And fucking, and then I had issues with that pig too. I was like trying to get with her. We're watching Good Will Hunting together. And she like let me massage her back. Things that if I was jacking off these days, now that I'm a horny, dirty old man, and I can see the kind of the sexuality in everything, almost. Whereas when I was younger, but now it's the same as when I was younger. When I was younger, I thought, if a pig said I could have a hand job, I would say no. We could have sex or you can fuck off. I'm not just gonna get a hand job, so you can have your cake and eat it too while you have a boyfriend. That completely humiliates me. And then after I got older and more desperate, I'm not sure if older being, I could see, I don't know, just the complexity of a situation, that the pig is turned on, but she just can't actually follow through with it because she's a whore. And, you know, as distinct from a prostitute. And it's just the way the world is. And as I'm cut off from the world and isolated, then I'm more and more desperate. And what's your type? Well, anything I can get. Unless I can get anyone I want, then I have a type. But when I don't have anyone, then my type is anything I can get. And then even just something as simple as a perverted act, like this huge dumper pig, and she's like, "Let me just lay on my stomach here in my tights, and you can just massage my back and look at me." And, you know, now I would be like, not this month, not since I've stopped jacking, but now a situation like that, I would be ferociously, like, fucking crazy jacking off to that. Like, it would just be like, it would make me so horny that you couldn't even imagine. But now that I'm more in my heart center, I'm like, I don't want that. Like, that's so cheap. That's so third rate. Do you think I'm that third rate? Do you think that's the best I can do? I feel like my friend with cerebral palsy, his uncle got him a prostitute when he was a teen. It's like, do you think that's the best I can do? Like, that's really your highest expectation for me? Well, you should have said no to the prostitute then. You know? I'll bet if another prostitute was popped in your face right now, you'd say, yeah. That guy, he came to our party to pay us back. He hid all his booze upstairs because he was afraid someone was going to steal it. Probably projecting. And then he had a meltdown. I don't know what happened, but he got really upset. He started crying. He started throwing up, I think. I think he just drank too much. And Jim Denham's pig and Vin Denham's pig, Vin Denham's other pig, helped this guy, helped him in the bathroom as he's like kneeling over the toilet throwing up. You know, they're comforting him, and he's a good-looking guy. He actually doesn't know how good-looking he is. He looks like Leonardo DiCaprio, but he has serious self-esteem issues from having cerebral palsy, and he's like, "You guys aren't disgusted to touch me?" Can you imagine saying that when you're drunk? You guys aren't disgusted to touch me? This is a guy who's been locked in a locker at high school for like 4 hours. Like they had to call a specialist in to cut through the lock. Someone shoved him in a locker and then put a lock on it, and no one knew the password. So they had to call someone with a metal grinder to grind it open. Like, and he's from a hick town. My dad talked to his mom and he was like, "I don't negotiate with terrorists." And he hung up because she was like, because he was living with us and she was like, "What the fuck are you doing with my son? Blah, blah, blah." My dad didn't even live with us. He was just living with Travis and I at our fucking League of Shadows type club, we called it. They didn't even know. I had called it League of Shadows. And Topher and Travis didn't even know that I had stolen that from a movie, from Batman. And I had this character that I did named Bobby Z, which was also a character. I just saw Bobby Z as a movie title. And so I started calling myself Bobby Z. Topher one day, he's like, "I just saw the movie Bobby Z." He's like, I don't know, he thought that was funny. But I'm so happy right now with my relationship with Gansco. It doesn't feel tacky or hokey or false to say it. I really feel like a good boyfriend. I'm really proud of myself. I know I didn't, get my diet on track, but maybe I needed to not get it on track. Maybe I was like Denzel in the movie Flight, where I had to take my medicine to fucking land the plane properly. And my higher self is saying, what's a little less time on your life? You want to live forever? You should live right. And if you have to eat some butter in order to think clearly, then that's what you should do. And don't be concerned about being a tight-ass disciplinarian, because that's really escapism too. When you're like, "Oh, I'll just be super disciplined and that'll take care of everything." Well, not necessarily. You can't avoid responsibility that easily by doing enough push-ups. It doesn't change anything. There's a lot of people like that, tight-ass fucking freaks, volcanoes. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. I'm kind of adjusting the microphone. I'm so comfortable over here. There's one, you know who I really like? This guy named Rin. I think it's Rin, yeah, R-I-N. He has music. He's a TI. He doesn't know he's a TI. If you told him he's a TI, he'd think you're crazy. And he doesn't know fat. He's only like 20. He does modeling. He makes music. He makes like rap music. His music sucks. His modeling is like really, really dumb. But just in my opinion, he looks very fit. He looks like a model. Like he's extremely fit. And I take it back, actually. I take it back, saying that his modeling is really dumb and his music is dumb. I take it back. It's not what I would do. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't like my album, Bitches Ain't Shit, I Suck My Own Dick. For me to write that album, that's like one of the best things I've ever done in my life. I don't know if you know that I've always wanted to write a song, and I wrote a whole album up to my own standards. It doesn't matter if I'm like Van Gogh. I'm not gonna kill myself, but I'm like Van Gogh. I'm like, I live in a fucking mental house, and my whole life I've wanted to paint the sun, and everyone placates me, and everyone puts me in a mental house just for the paintings I do, and no one understands my paintings, and I've been wanting for years to paint the sun, for decades. And now finally I did it. I painted the sun just the way I've always wanted to. I've done my fucking masterpiece, and now I can die. This is one of the things I've wanted to do for my entire life. Since I've been using music as medication. I've always loved music as early as I can remember. I was loving music. It's like my earliest memory is music. I was always loving music. And once I was like 14, once I went to high school, I mean even earlier, in like grade 6 even, I had a CD player, a Sony portable CD player. For some reason I think it was called a Walkman. I don't know. But, listening to See You Soon by Coldplay. I mean, this was like life-changing to me. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I was seeing Anthony Kiedis. I always wanted to be them. And finally I wrote a fucking album. I wrote Bitches Ain't Shit, I Suck My Own Dick. The whole thing is genius. I was like, that's the best title for an album I've ever heard in my life. And it came naturally. I was like, one of the best songs on the album, that's just one of the lyrics. And I'm like, that's the title of the album. But what I've wanted most, obviously, is to be in love. Not with my second choice, not with my third. I want it to be with my first choice. And I want it to be good. Your first choice implies more than just the person, but having the right mood, having the right lack of dissonance, the right trust, not having issues that you're like, fuck you, and pretending like those aren't there. Not having resentments, being like in love. And having, I don't know what it is that guides you to figuring out what's wrong. I guess that's loyalty. That's love. That's like dedication. It's like, I won't settle. Not only must you be the first, the only fucking, I don't know, I'm trying to be romantic here. Not only must you be the right person, but the relationship must be right as well. and how clueless we are, like how helplessly, cluelessly stupid we are. That even relating with a friend is hard. Relating with family is impossible. And relating with a lover is just a laughable joke. To even dream of that is a joke. To even put that in a science fiction movie is a joke. And maybe in a science fiction movie you can get along with your family. Maybe if it's science fiction. And maybe you can try but fail with a platonic friend. But to communicate authentically and lovingly with a lover, no. No science fiction writer has ever come up with anything that would even approximate that. Well, reality is stranger than fiction. And I can say all this gay shit now. I can get so gay. Do you know how fucking gay I can be? Now that I've worked through my issues with Dance Girl, I can literally sit here just saying, I love you, Dance Girl. I love you so much. I love you so much, Dance Girl. Daddy's here. Daddy's gonna be here forever. I can just say that. You know what happens every time I say it? I feel pulses of warmth going through my penis. I mean, it's amazing. And when I have this kind of apprehension, like I just embarrassed myself, like you just called it your penis, shouldn't you have called it your tack? I'm like, no, I'm not self-hating right now. I'm totally on fire. I'm totally in the zone, and I'm totally moving forward. I'm not backtracking. I'm not second guessing, and I'm not doing bravado. I'm not acting. I'm not posturing. I'm really saying you're my favorite pig, Dance Girl. You're the best. The fact that I can say it, and the fact that I can mutilate my feet for you for fun, is hilarious. It's like a cosmic giggle. It's really, really, really cool. And I hope everyone is jealous of us. And that's for their own good. So they're like, oh, maybe we can be like Dance Girl and Z-Bubs. And then by 6 degrees of association, we stop the whole world from ending in war. I mean, I swear to God, well, this is really beautiful already, but this would be even more beautiful if the whole world starts starving and the internet gets cut out, and you know, we're selling our family members for gasoline, and tender, soft-hearted, soft-handed women are making stew out of their babies. People would look back and they'd say, remember those days when we could just tell people how much we loved them on YouTube? You know, you wouldn't take that for granted. You'd be like, that's really special, you can do that. So I feel like the version of myself that I like being. And that is fucking dependent on Dance Girl, kind of, in a certain way. I mean, I don't know. Is love a choice? I don't even know. But I mean, yeah, it is. Like, I could only be like this because Dance Girl treats me good. I mean, it goes both ways. But I'm suddenly blushing. I suddenly feel embarrassed. Like I went a bit too far. But it hasn't ruined me. I still feel okay. Yeah, there's still such a thing as being too romantic. even when you're in the zone. There's still such a thing as taking it too far and dialing it back a little bit, and still finding perfection in your mistakes. Not beating up on yourself when you cross the line a little bit. Instead of saying, oh fuck, you say, well, I couldn't have known where it was if I didn't go over it. And remember what Chris Martin says, there's nothing here to hide from. So, you know, you get a little blushy sometimes. I mean, what does it mean when Osho says lovers embarrass each other by holding hands? I don't think it's necessarily holding hands, but it's when you just go a bit too far. You're like, and then I would swallow a 50-inch sword for you. And then if a mountain was in the way, I'd pick it up with one hand and throw it into outer space. And at some point you're like, you know, really? Like that's a bit much, dude. I mean, they have that in this show, Flight of the Conchords. And this one guy, Brett, he's writing this love song for this girl, and he's like, I would swallow a 12-inch sword for you. And his friend, I don't know what his friend's name is, the one with the glasses, he's like, Brett, are you sure that that's like something that you would do? Why would you have to swallow a 12-inch sword? Like, who would want you to do that? You know, it's a bit much. Well, people do sword swallowing. It's a bit weird. These are a bit ridiculous, these type of things. Like, why would anyone? Yeah, I think it's a bit ridiculous. I think this whole David Blaine stuff, David Blaine and Chris Angel, it's pretty lame. But you know, I have a lot of pain in my fucking throat right now. I was hacking away at my tonsils with this new tonsil stone remover I got, and now I have pain all down on the right side of my throat. So again, Dance Girl, I don't know what to say. Okay, yeah, on the right side of my throat, on the right side of my tonsil, I have a tonsil stone, very small. Definitely smells bad. But it's so hidden that that you won't even notice it, because it's like sealed off. And I know that's disgusting, and I shouldn't even tell you, but obviously you're gonna know. And I mean, I'm not gonna ask my mom to smell my breath. I'll ask you to smell my breath. I'll be like, if you want to kiss, you can smell my breath, just to verify. But I mean, I'd be happy just saying hi to you. I mean, that would be, ultimately, if you wanted to see me again, just saying hi, I'd be happy. But I have more expectations than that at this point. I actually expect that we're going to go for a walk together. So, yeah, I guess if you don't want to kiss me, that's okay, because, you know, we can do that on the second date, and then I'll have time to get my tonsils clean with water. But at the same time, you wouldn't even notice it. Like, it's like, I don't know, the amount of work I have to do to open up my tonsil, it's like I have to peel open all these layers. It's so painful. So it's like completely sealed off. So I think you should consider kissing me. Okay, I know it's fucking, I don't know. But I don't care. Okay, like the moment has to call for it, so. If the moment comes up, I think you should consider that it's safe. Personally, if someone has bad breath around me, I never inhale around them ever again. And there was like, and I remember it forever. I remember what their breath smells like forever. And and their pussy. And I fucking, oh, what was I gonna say? I don't know. Something about having, I don't know. Oh yeah, Travis had bad breath once. Travis is like the most beautiful guy I've ever seen. He's just so cool, so funny. He's so mean. He's, he's so mean, and that's like makes him even cooler. And but sometimes it doesn't actually. But anyways, he is one of those people who walks on water to me. Like he's just so gorgeous. And this is a weird thing, but doing porn, like doing webcamming, there's a lot of guys who are like, I need you to put your finger in your girlfriend's butt and then put it in her mouth. And that's what I need. And that's what I really need. And there's a lot of guys who are like that. Like, you want to see the nastiest, like, don't wash, okay? Don't have a bath for a week before you see me, because I want you to be as disgusting as possible, because it turns me on even more. I want you after you are drenched in sweat. I want you after you've been walking in the desert all day. And because I'm an animal and I'm domesticated and everything animalistic has been taken from me. I've been living a plastic life. So give me your disease, please. All I want is your disease. And the hotter you are, like someone who is super hot, you're like, oh yes, please. Just like I want to watch you on hidden camera so you don't know and you're more natural and I can see the real you. I want all the grossness that you'd never show me. I want to see the real you. Okay, the only thing I want is what you don't want to show me. Anything you want to show me, that's just clinical, that's just sterilized, that's just gutless. I don't want that. Now, someone like Travis, he's so gorgeous, and he has bad breath. One time, he has bad breath. Out of all the years we're talking, out of all the years we know each other, one time, and we live together, and we spend all our time together, and we are always together. We're always walking and talking. I smell his breath tons of times. I smell his breath in the morning. I smell his breath when he's drunk. Okay, this is always a very, very healthy guy who his nasty is better than the best, the most clinical, sterile breath of some other less attractive person. His nastiness is better than that. And one time he has a really gross breath. And I'm like, that's disgusting. That's fucking gross. Like, I don't even care that it's you, Travis. This is just not okay. Now, could that be me? Oh God, I hope not. Are you here? Are you here with me? Are you listening? I hope you're here. I hope a lot of people are here. This is like a certain kind of story where it's letters. I forget what it was called, but I took a writing. I don't know if it was grade 11 English or something. And there's a certain kind of story where you just write letters to somebody. And that's the whole thing. And I feel like I'm talking to you, Dance Girl. But I'm talking to everyone else too. I'm playing your song, Finity. I'm playing the stretch, I pulse stretched it to 19 minutes long. Oh, and I can't wait to listen to the new Boards of Canada album too. I mean, my favorite thing is just talking to you and being myself. I mean, Jesse says it from the neighborhood. He says, I want to talk like me and I want to walk like me. I don't want to be another. I want to walk like me. I want to talk like me. I don't want to be another. And that shit goes deep. That shit goes really fucking deep. You think it's just some studio writer playing on people's emotions or thinking of something gimmicky. But that is what you want. You do want to be yourself. That is your goal, is to know yourself and to be yourself. And you find that through being mirrored by your beloved. And the pain of life is the joy of it too, that you can miss. And that you really have to be wild if you want to find it. I mean, on the spirit level, let's just say there are no coincidences. And this is ridiculous too. How can you say God exists when Gaza exists? But let's just say that you get what you deserve. Well, I've had to go through so much pain to say that I have no complaints to God anymore, and that my life is exactly the way I want. I've had to be fucking wild. Like, do you know how dangerous what I did is? Do you know that I knew that people were gonna, like, rape me and kill me? And that I would have to fight the whole society for years with no promise of any resolution? Do you have any idea how much risk I've taken? How much pain I've endured? Amounts of pain that I was like, I'm not even aware that this much pain exists until it reaches me. I'm not even aware that this much suffering is even real. Now, obviously, I'm a big baby, okay? There are people who have it way worse than me. But what about this? Physical pain triggers the same responses as social humiliation. What if, on a certain level, I haven't had that much physical pain, but emotionally I've had as much pain as anyone? You know, maybe that's not true. You know, I can see people say, no, look on TV, look on the news, you can see people who have way worse than you. Well, okay, you know, because what am I really saying? That's pretty far out. You're saying you've suffered being rejected and abandoned by everyone you know, and everyone you know says you deserve to be raped and die. And you're saying that that is so emotionally painful, and including your beloved says you shouldn't be raped and you should die, and everyone else in your family. And you're saying that that is as painful as a mother in Gaza who had her baby buried alive, and now she's living with that. Or that is as painful as someone in a CCOT prison, especially someone who's like an innocent. I don't think anyone deserves to be tortured, regardless of any crime. You know, if you torture someone, you're as fucked as they are. Like, there's no excuse to torture people ever. But just to make it more egregious, you know, not that it does, but just make it more picturesque. There's a totally innocent, super loving gay hairdresser who gets put in CCOT prison, and he has to sit there with his hands cuffed behind his back every day in a claustrophobic position for the rest of his life. And he'd give anything to die.
But if he stops eating, they're going to take him to some medical ward and make him eat. Or something like that. And you're saying the worst pains on earth, that you have suffered that your emotional pain rivals their emotional pain, or your emotional pain is bigger than their emotional pain and it compensates that they have physical pain and you don't. Because when the mother in Gaza has her daughter or son killed, or in Iran when they bombed that girls' school, and then those children are stuck under the rubble. I'm a claustrophobic person. Those children are still alive and they're stuck under the rubble. And when their parents and ambulance come to get them, then they kill the parents and ambulance. And then when the people come to get them, then they kill them. And those kids are being just alive, not able to move, trapped in concrete. And you're saying your emotional pain from having your family tell you to get raped and go fucking kill yourself, and everyone else in the society, you're saying that's as bad? And how can you say that? Well, I'm just bringing it up as a hypothesis. Maybe it's not true. I'm just, talking shit here. What if, as someone in a war crime situation or in a prison, you have the support of everyone you love, and so therefore your emotional pain is not the same? What if your abandonment of everyone who loves you, they're abandoning you, causes an amount of emotional pain that is unparalleled? That someone in Gaza, at least they have a sense of community. And even if they're isolated, and even if they're by themselves, at least they know that the strangers have their back. At least they know their neighbor has their back. But what about when every fucking person hates you? Every fucking person, you can't even go to sleep without someone drugging you and fucking you. Now, I could feel really hateful towards pimps, but maybe not. But I mean, if you take away, supposing you kidnap someone and you take them to an island, they don't have any family, they don't have any friends, they don't have any support, and they are loved, but they believe they're not. That could be incredible emotional pain. Feeling like nobody loves me, nobody cares about me. And not only that, but they hate me. They fucking strangle me, they fucking beat me, they fucking use me. And how could they fuck me but not love me? That makes no sense. Clearly you love me. Well, why would you want to kill me then? Why would you want to hurt me? You can't fuck someone without loving them. Like, love and sex literally mean the same thing. Now my dad says that's not the truth. Love and sex are not the same thing. But I think they are. Osho thinks they are too. And I know that's really cheap. Some people are like, oh, you're just copying Osho because you can't explain it yourself. Well, I can explain it. Love and sex are passion and biology. And then it's also true that love and sex are not the same thing. Because love, as defined as sex, as it goes to higher dimensions, changes from passion into compassion. Once the come part comes, once you get past the sex part, then it turns into compassion. And then it's not about using the other. Then it's about what can you give to the other. And so you start off, I think, using each other. And there's something ugly about it, that you both need it. But then you get to a higher dimension. You learn what is the love. It starts out as just raw biology. Biology takes you up to age 14. And then at that point, you're just an animal. And then if you go higher with it, you have the key, you have the thread. The thread then is that sex will take you through all the dimensions of religion. Sex will take you through all the dimensions of love. which as it purifies, then it turns into compassion, which in plain terms, in my opinion, is Karyza, which is you stop needing it. And you can do it playfully then, if the moment comes up. But you're not like, oh my god, Dance Girl, please, can I please come in you, please, Dance Girl? You know, it's like, I'm not begging, I'm not begging just to not look like a beggar. I'm truly not begging. I would enjoy your company more than anything. And therefore, if slam dunking is spontaneous, then that's what I want. But it's not like, Dance Girl, meet me on the trail with your face in the ground and your ass up in the air. I mean, if I was Alexander the Great or fucking, you know, if I could ask you to do anything, I wouldn't even ask you that. If I would ask you to do anything, I would ask you to do whatever you like. In fact, that's what I want most. And that's why I like femdom. Because I want you to show me who you are. And the only way you can do that is if you kill me. Unfortunately. According to the logic of femdom, and I've thought about this quite a bit, that what's so hot about femdom? Why do you want to be taken? Well, because it takes away your responsibility. Because you've been shamed, haven't you? Isn't that what it is? You've been shamed and shamed and shamed, and you've made to feel like your very nature is wrong. And of course, nature is illegal. Soon it will be illegal to drink water. Soon it will be illegal. It will be illegal to have clean water without poison in it. Now I'm being, I'm exaggerating here, but it's not far off. And so, if your pig is going to kill you, and you can never tell anyone what she does, then she can finally do whatever she wants, because she doesn't have to save face anymore. And so that's the allure of femdom. It's that who are you when there's no consequences for any of your behaviors. If we could go into a room with no windows and no doors and no one sees, what would you do then? No one ever knows. And you can even wipe your memory so that you can't even remember what you've done, so you can't even be haunted by it. What would you do then? That's what I want to see. And if I have to tell you, well, that's not what I want, because I don't want what I want what you want. I want the surprise of you. I'm on your ride. I don't want to run the show. How much do you weigh? I'll let you weigh 100 pounds. There's this song called Happy Cycling by Boards of Canada, and the picture on the video, why is this fucking mirrored? I don't like when they mirror the fucking tracks. And this eagle looks like you, Dance Girl. I couldn't imagine who Todd would be if he comes back to Earth as a human.
Now, if your boyfriend hit you, I don't know if that was us who made. You know, I didn't have anything to do with that. And why would I think he hit you? I don't know. Seemed like you were kind of mad at him. Which, it doesn't matter to me. I just worried that you didn't really love me, that you're just rebounding. That you're just like, oh man, some guy fucked me up, but you know, at least Z-Bubs is safe. I'm like, I wanna be dangerous. I wanna be so dangerous. Not like, you know, going base jumping, but like that I have a lot of ripple fucking never mind. This is triggering some traumatic memories. That I have a lot of effect on you. That I create a lot of waves in your life. Well, I'd like to know that I take you higher. That I'm like, I don't know. Maybe that's kind of smug. But I'd like to know that you're really enjoying our relationship. And that each day that you know me, you are having a better day than the day before. And that you're enjoying life more and more. And that you're enjoying our relationship more and more. And that is perfect, but each day it's more perfect. And it's like a paradox. That how does it get more perfect when it's already perfect? I don't know, but it does. It's perfect as a seed and it turns into a tree. It's perfect the whole time, but it gets more perfect. Now, do you think other fucking marriages are as good as ours? I mean, we have our fights. We certainly have our fights. And maybe other couples do as well. I mean, earlier tonight, I was not in a good mood with you. I was like, oh man, this is contrived. There's something wrong here, and I didn't know what it was. So I'd have to afford that to other couples too, and say, yeah, I guess if you look miserable in the moment, it doesn't mean that your relationship sucks and me and Dance Girls is better. And that's fine, I don't have to be better than people. But I do have to make a burger. And I'm glad Stella and Kayla didn't want those shoes. Because now I'm going to sell them and I'm going to make some money, I hope. No one was buying them for my mom, and I was like, I wonder if it's because I said we're going to give the money to charity, and now we're not doing it, and people think that we're trying to scam them. And I was like, well, my mom told me she's giving it to charity, and she didn't tell that to the public. And then when she stopped doing that, how was I supposed to know? I didn't know that. Once I found out, then I told everyone. And I was afraid people were saying, oh, you're trying to say that you're giving the money to charity, but you're actually just ripping people off, so no one's going to buy the shoes. And it's like, you would think that? You would think that we would do that? Like, why would we do that? Whatever, people look for the villain. But maybe they just didn't sell too. A woman came and picked up a whole box of them today. And we still have 6 pairs left, but she took like probably 15 pairs to the St. John's Soup Kitchen. And she said people are gonna love this. She said people are gonna instantly take these. Like these are a hot commodity down there. And she said no one donates shoes. This is like something that people really need. I hate this level so much. Fucking... God, I hate these levels. All these kind of levels. No offense to TSD. I really hate the blue cars the most. You know, these fucking blue cars, you know, the green ones, they just do what they're gonna do. But the blue ones, they follow you. And they try and hit you. Fucking... Well, you know, TSD's never tried to hit me. But, you know, these fucking blue cars are fucking... Well, I said this is not a TSD thing. You know, but he might think that if I'm like, you know, I hate these fucking blue cars. Well, who made blue your color, TSD? You have blue eyes, don't you? I mean, my color is red. Dance Girl color is red. Dance Girl's sister color. I've never seen Dance Girl wear red. But my color was red before. Well, I have brown eyes. Brown eyes and red go good. It's nice not hating anyone. Oh, I'll go right back into hating people. When I go on the trails and someone comes to hit me with their bike, I'll go right back to hating people. And then the phone calls will come the next day. But you know what? I'm so happy with Dance Girl that I'm like, it doesn't even matter. Like, nothing even matters. Even the guy when I went on my barefoot walk, the guy who was like smiling riding his bike at me, really, really ugly guy. Like, you know, a guy you'd pity, really. You know, he looked like he was mentally 10 years old. Like, imagine laughing at someone while riding your bike at them like you're gonna hit them. Like, imagine, like, what kind of mind you'd have to have. You know, I don't even want to talk about how shitty his life is. But I mean, I was like, fuck you, dude. And, but at the same time, it's like, you would actually pity that person if you weren't just losing your temper for a moment. After you cool down, you'd actually just be like, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, guy. Like, whatever you're going through, I'm really sorry that that's happening. I know you can't hear this. I know this doesn't even make sense to you. You think I'm condescending you. I'm like, you know, acting superior to you. I'm like really sorry. Whatever you're going through, I'm really fucking sorry. Like, you don't get it. You're actually like a 10-year-old. Like, you literally have the emotional maturity of someone who's 8. And you don't understand. And I'm so sorry that this is happening to you. That your life is following someone on a bike to laugh and act like you're gonna hit them. And that's what gets you off. Like, I'm really fucking sorry for you, guy. You know, it's not fair. I could literally cry for you. You have no idea. Now, could I say that in the moment? No, I'm like, fuck you, I wanna fucking kick your ass, okay? I wanna kick your fucking ass. I fucking hate you. I'm glad, you ugly asshole. I'm glad you look visibly disturbed. I'm glad you repel people from 100 feet away. I'm glad your life sucks. Fuck you. I don't have pity on you. You do deserve what you get. You asshole. You sick fuck. This is my life too. My life also matters. Your unfortunate situation doesn't give you the right to ruin my life. To
threaten me and terrorize me and stalk me. Like, fuck you, guy. Taking revenge for how shitty your life is. That life fucked you up. So now you're gonna fuck someone else up and you don't even think twice about it. Fuck you. I'll be the person who does treat you as if you're a real person. And then afterwards I'm like, yeah, that's like, that guy was literally 8. Like for real, not joking. And yelling at him, like when Neil yelled at Eric, it was as if a full-grown man just screamed at a 5-year-old. Like with all the rage of someone who would actually kick your ass. You know, like Eric was like he actually couldn't talk after. Like it totally destroyed him. Because Neil was like God. Like Neil is not just anyone. Sometimes I think Dance Girl never realized her power. That like if you tell me to die, Dance Girl, that's what I want to do then. Unless I get over you, which I never have. And in the same sense, I've been careful what I say to you. I realize my power too, that you do trust me. And that therefore, don't just glibly talk to you, or like, without thinking what I'm saying. Don't just compulsively, automatically say things without even considering what I'm saying. Because it has an effect on you. And so, I'm careful to say what I mean, and to mean what I say. And I feel that you're with me here. Which is not the same as just making a video. You know, it's kind of like if you make a song, if you're a musician, and the song is good, you're like, I feel like you're with me here. So I'm proud of my quality. It makes me feel like I'm not alone. It makes me feel like I deserve you. And that's the best feeling in the world. To be myself and to deserve what I want. And to not have to use tricks. That's the only quest. To be myself. And, you know, I don't think I could do it without you, Dance Girl. You know? Well, I couldn't top yesterday's video, I thought, but, you know, I feel again tonight like we had a great date. This is like our second date night in a row. I'm really happy with tonight's date, how it turned out. Way different than I thought. I had no idea this was going to be a good date. I was really struggling earlier. I was so disconnected. Have you ever felt dissociated or disconnected? That you're just gone? I have. It's the loneliest feeling in the world. Anthony Kiedis says it. Life is so lonely when you don't know yourself. But I feel like you need someone else to know yourself. You have to see yourself mirrored back.
Do you get that? Like, you don't know how great you are until you see your greatness, until you see the effect you have. You don't know you're the most important person in the world until you see that you saved somebody's life by your loving them. Or you don't know what a bitch you are until you make someone angry or something. Okay, I'm not calling you a bitch. I'm calling myself a bitch. Like, you know, not to sound self-deprecating, but like, yeah, I feel like I know you well enough that I can synthesize you. You know, I know how you feel based on what I say. If I say it right, I know how you feel. If I say it wrong, I know how you feel. And when I was saying it wrong earlier, but I didn't know, like I still had those resentments, then I was a real bitch. I was like crass and kind of like sleazy and resentful and repressed about it. And then I synthesized you, and you were like, yeah, I don't really know about us. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, I guess you're a bitch. You must be a bitch. What else excuse is there? Why else would you be keeping my bike hostage? And then I'm like, oh, wait, I don't actually know myself that well. I had to have you mirror me and be disinterested in me, but from the opposite side. Like, a man's unconscious is a woman's conscious. And so you're as apathetic and indifferent to me as I am to you, but in a different way. And I'm going, what the fuck? Why are you doing that? That's not equal. That's not proportional. And you're like, oh, yes, it is. It's just from the other end. And then I'm like, okay, so you are mirroring me. You're saying I'm as fucked as you are right now. And not to blame, you're saying like I'm as unavailable right now as you are. I'm as like turned my back to you as you're turned your back to me. Okay, so we're mirroring each other and there's something wrong. And what am I doing to make this wrong? Well, I'm believing lies. Because I don't know myself well enough to believe the truth. So what's the lie and what's the truth? Well, then I figure it out, and then I'll go, oh, okay, there we go. Now my back is not faced towards God anymore. Now I'm facing my love, and it's mirroring it back to me. Now God is mirroring back my love to me. Now that I got it right. Now, could I have done that without you, Dance Girl? Like, power is neutral. It doesn't corrupt. It just reveals what you already are. And you're like the power of God. You're like the power of love. The power of the religious journey. And without having that revealed to me, that who are you as you start to ascend? Are you broken? Are you awesome? How could you figure it out without love? So how could I say that I don't need you? How could I say that I could be myself without you? How could I say that I don't need your love? When your love is the litmus test. When it's the mirror. How could I know myself without you? How could I know who I am without seeing myself through you? Without seeing you? you know, this makes my boner feel very, very like an ember. Like the most glowing ember. Very covered in ash. Very much covered in ash. It's not like a rip-roaring fire. It's not like crazy glowing. It's just like, I don't know. It's layered. There's so many layers of heart over top of it. I wish that cuddling was possible without sweating. I mean, I'm clearly very into your sweat. But, I mean, I would imagine, but, you know, I am. That's just a thing for me. But, fucking cuddling and being sweaty after like 10 minutes, it's like, oh god. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I want to kiss Dance Girl more than ever. But if someone sewed our lips together and made us kiss forever, I think we would never want to kiss again. And I wish cuddling was like, I wish we had air-conditioned suits or something. Like, I wish there's a way to cuddle without being too sweaty. And the thing about my topper on my bed is it's so sweaty. They have this fucking cooling technology cover over it, which helps. But my mom is wary of it. She's like, I don't trust whatever they put in it. I'm like, you eat cheesecake for breakfast. You eat like 20 cheesecakes a day, and you're worried that it's wrapped in cellophane. Like, oh my god. But, fucking, it's really hot. I know, I'm almost thinking of taking the topper off again. I don't know. It's weird. I could sleep sitting up. I can sleep in a chair, but I can't sleep on my back in bed. I really don't get it. But you like my voice? It's getting a lot deeper, isn't it? Making me a man, Dance Girl. What if I always talk like this? What do you think I sound like, Xerxes, or what do you think it's sexy? What do you think is sexy? Hi, Leonidas. I'm fucking Xerxes. Fucking messenger. And, Leonidas. Well, Jared Butler's pretty hot. Yeah, he has a good personality. But anyway, falling asleep over here. I don't know. It's awesome it's been a month now not jacking. I have no compulsion to jack anymore. Thanks for putting up with me, Dance Girl. I know sometimes I'm a full retard. You know, whenever I go full retard or half retard, I genuinely believe that you're gonna dump me. And then later on, I say some Romeo and Juliet type shit. And I think I've won you back. And it always makes me feel so happy. I'm like, oh, I gambled and I won. Just like going to the casino. It's so difficult. You don't talk much, so I don't know if you get it, but talking all the time, like I do, I'm like, I fuck up all the time. In my mind, I'm always losing you and winning you back. And it's the price I pay. If I'm just going to be uncensored and just talk without self-censoring, it's the price I have to pay. But it's the best. I thought about giving you, she used to give to your brother.
I don't think your family wants or needs anything from you. But I was feeling extra kind today. You know, today I didn't even hate anyone. Today I had love for everyone, including the TSD family. And including even whoever my handler is, if it's not him. I thought all the harassment today was done as non-violently as possible. Which I appreciated. And then there was like lots of gang stalking, which was not even harassment at all. It was just like friendly gestures. Like our family is expanded. Like I really feel like there's a lot of people who I consider my family now. And I want to give them all shoes and say, here's your soul. I'm giving you your soul. And they're like, what? I'm like, your soul for your shoes, you know, like a shoe has a soul. They're like, oh, okay, we thought you were playing God. And I'm like, I was. And do you remember how negative I was? How negative I was at the beginning of the night? I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna like wrap a belt around my neck and die because everyone's so shitty. Fuck them all. I think why I was talking like that was because I hadn't dealt with the cognitive dissonance I had about my misunderstandings. I haven't given you enough credit. Partially maybe because love dissolves the ego. And it's scary to be dumped, but it's scarier to not be dumped. Because then what happens? Well, love possesses you. And you can't control that. And hasn't it been painful? I mean, yeah, but it's getting less. It's painful when you don't know what the love is. When you think love is something else. When you're so misguided. Well, it's like being born, I guess. I don't know. It's like leaving the womb. You know, growth is painful. Osho says that at first, you're a coward, and then you're brave, and then you're not brave and you're not a coward. Because your bravery implies that you're a coward as well. But your bravery is moving beyond your cowardice. And then eventually, you're simply not scared anymore. And being afraid is very painful. Fear is really painful. Lao Tzu says, preparing for a fight is the worst thing you can do. And then I guess after a while, what's bitter in the end, or I mean what's sweet in the end is what's bitter in the beginning. That at first you have no idea what the love is, and you're groping in the dark and you're bonking your head, and you have no ability to communicate with anyone, even platonic love, and then you move through that, like, there was a hierarchy of it. That at first I had to learn to communicate with family. First I had to learn to communicate with friends. My first friends were Red Hair and Zeph. And then it was family. And then now a lover. And obviously it was much more painful for both of us to communicate when we didn't know what the love was. Okay, so it looks like I can choose if it's mirrored. I don't even remember that from the first time I played. But I fucking hate these mirror tracks. So yeah, first we're groping in the dark, we're bonking our head, because it takes a moment to fall in love, but it takes you years to know what the love is. And then after years, we know what the love is, and we're not groping in the dark, and we have our eyes open and we're awake, so we're not in pain anymore. And how much pain it took to get here. Well, it took a lot. I don't know how much pain you went through, but if it's true that you would be feeling whatever I feel, then you would have been through a lot of pain as well. This last years together would have been extremely painful for you on like many, many levels. Like levels that are unspeakable. Not that they're needing to be censored, but that they're so unique or like specific. I don't know, far out or something. That would be crazy. I'm like, I'm suffering more than anyone here. And it's like, Dance Girl's suffering too. Because she loves you and she can't not suffer if you suffer. And she is able to feel whatever you feel. So she feels whatever you feel. Which, I mean, that's a blessing. Because I'm like, that is so good. Because I love you and it's something that I want you to feel. I want you to know what it feels like for me to love you. And the fact that you can is the best gift I can give to you. And obviously, it's a really great thing to give someone a gift. It makes you feel like you're needed. And that's like the deepest need in the world, is to be needed. It's the ultimate. It's the thing that you need more than anything, is that people depend on you. That you matter. And so if I can make you feel needed, as much as I feel needed by you, then I'm like, I'm giving you the best gift in the world. I'm giving you literally the best gift in the world. So obviously, you understand when people want to kill you. You know, whoever's sending those commercials of this pig drowning and me getting poisoned with my apples. You know, I'm like, yep, I understand. Because I got a whole bunch of pigs who want to kill me. Because they're like, Dance Girl and Z-Bombs are so amazing, we just gotta kill them. We just wish we could be them, so we gotta kill them. But not to put any bad omens, okay? I'm happy with the whole society at this point. Okay, I don't need to backtrack over here. I don't need to guilt anyone, and, you know. If you were my enemy, you're not my enemy now.
Yeah, I'm just a drama queen. I'm a half retard. Sometimes I go full retard, and sometimes I go full not retard, I think. I hope, but I might be half retard and not know it. But yeah, tonight I went half retard. And, now I'm not. I'm not retard at all right now. Now I'm my real self. And again, I could just sit here for hours talking to you. This fulfills me so much. Just being myself with nothing to talk about, nothing to prove, nothing to impress. That intrinsically I am the source. Or that sounded wrong. Intrinsically, I am already good. My very being is good. My very being is enough. My very bubbly butt. My very... No, I don't, you know what, I don't have much of a butt. But I think I do, actually. I think I have a pretty nice butt. I really do. Okay, I'll say that in Philip Seymour Hoffman voice. I really fucking do, okay? Federico. I can't do it. Yeah, that's just a character, really? I'm a real Philip Seymour Hoffman. Fucking... Fucking what? Fucking, I don't know. What are you gonna wear on our date, Jessica? I might have a new shirt by the time. A linen shirt. I want to get linen pants. Do you hate this level? Who would think of this? All these buildings, look at the buildings in the background. They're all going up and down. No one else but a Sonic artist would think of that. And seeing the style cross the genre of game, like a 2D to a 3D racer, and they have to redo all their art. It's like asking Picasso to design a car. And it's like, wow, that's also a masterpiece. Or Aladdin Khan, anything he touched was gold. He'd play violin for the first time, and he just, as if he had been doing it his whole life. He had a long lifespan. I think he lived to 100. He was always smoking, I think. They called him Baba. Babu. Which means dad or something like that. He was like a kid. So was Lao Tzu. I feel like a kid. Always. When Osho said he never learned anything, Ilsha was like, I've never learned a single thing from anyone. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I've been the same person the whole time. Ever since I was 4. Ever since I can remember, I've always been the exact same person. Nothing has ever happened. Nothing has ever changed. But I've had some illusions that got in the way of that. And there's also one other difference, kind of, that I wasn't really aware of myself. But once I was aware of myself, then I was like, I've always been the same person. But being aware of yourself sort of changes yourself. I think it changes yourself in a sort of behavioral therapy sort of way. Like you understand your emotions and you don't have to react to them. You can be less reactive. So it's like I'm the same version, but I live in a better, more godly way now. Okay, well, I think I might go to bed. Or just like, I don't know, stop talking. I might just fucking, I don't know. I want to make a burger. Okay, I'm gonna go. Good night, let's go.